confessions are out of line, that is what's going to get my focus. The misaligned text always creates the focal point. Read this again with me. You give power to what you focus on. So this is what we're talking about here. So now what happens here? But when I start, but when my actions and when my beliefs and when my confessions line up, then and only then am I in a position to receive everything God has. I want to know anybody here ready to get everything God has promised. You got to make sure your actions and your beliefs and confessions line up. And here's the point. It's not like people are intentionally not having alignment with these. But some kind of way we got some bad teaching or no teaching along the way. And our actions say this. And our beliefs say this. But our confession is out of line. And in turn, I go back and focus on, and it becomes my focal point. My actions and beliefs and confessions have to be in line to be positioned to receive what God has for us. Let's just take a look at what happens. Over in Exodus 14, you know this scripture very well. So, let me just talk about this idea about you give power what you focus on. Read this loud with me, please. Sin consciousness versus righteousness consciousness. How many here are the righteousness of God? Okay, 2 people. I say, how many are the righteousness of God? We are righteous not based on our behavior. We are righteous based on what? Come on. Believe. When we believe right, we will behave right. Because it says over in the book of Romans 3, it says at that point that our belief in Jesus is what makes us right with God. Now here's what happens. But if you say right here, let me go back to the slide here. Look what it says here. So read again. You give power to what you... So what is sin consciousness? Sin consciousness is always focusing on sin. You go to bed and list every sin you did. You go to bed depressed, got to be on. So that all this one sin. So the more I focus on sin, what are we going to do more? Sin. You give him power to it. But the more we focus on righteousness, what are we going to do then? Have more righteousness. Whatever we give power to what we... Now, be clear. I'm not minimizing the sin that was there. But the fact is that our actions and our behavior will never wash away the relationship we have with the Lord, because we are the righteousness of God. And when I start believing I'm righteous, I'm going to behave like I'm righteous. I'm going to act like I'm righteous. I'm going to leave righteous. And I'm going to confess I'm righteous as well. It's a matter of sin. We got to start giving our attention more to righteousness consciousness than sin consciousness. It says that the law increased sin. Well, it was not the... So don't get mad at the law. The law is only pointing out what the sin was. And the more we think about sin, the more we sin. The more we think about sin, the more we sin. The more we think about sin, the more we sin. But the more we think about righteousness, the more righteousness is produced. Glory. The more we think about righteousness, the more righteousness is seen. The more we think about righteousness, the more righteousness is evident. So it's about saying I'm going to give power to what I focus on. Focus on your righteousness and not your sinfulness. Focus on your righteousness and not your sinfulness. I say focus on your righteousness and not your sinfulness, because you're going to give power to what you focus on. So there has to be alignment between our actions, beliefs, and confession. So let's take a look at this. This is a very familiar portion of scripture in Exodus 14. And we're going to see, we have examples in the Word continuously of people and biblical characters that had alignment between actions, beliefs, and their confessions. And they received more than they expected from the Lord. Exodus chapter 14, after 14, right here. Read this with me, please, as you're seated. And now the context here is Exodus 14, that after all the plays leading up to that from 12 and 13 in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, Pharaoh finally lets the people go. Lets them go. They are out of Egyptian captivity, been enslaved for 430 years. They are finally out of captivity. And look what happens now. Read this with me. And so once he left them, before then, right once he got out, Pharaoh started thinking, well, like, we let them go. Who's going to cook my waffles this morning? So he goes out and sends, it says, his best chariots and his finest soldiers after 1,000,000 unarmed Hebrews. 1,000,000 of them leave. And now he sends out an army after them when they don't have any kind of weaponry at all. Now let's keep reading. As Pharaoh approached, the people of Israel looked up and panicked when they saw the Egyptians overtaking them. They cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough graves for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave?" Now, Moses didn't make them leave, but they're trying to find somebody to blame other than themselves. So they are, now think about this. The people have been enslaved for 430 years. They are finally set free. While they're out there getting set free, they see Pharaoh come up behind them, and then they start complaining at that point as well. Now watch Moses here. Now when they left out of slavery. So if somebody leaves out of slavery, what do they normally leave with? Nothing. Well, look what God had already promised in Genesis chapter 3, in Exodus chapter 3, 21 and 22. Read that, please. "I will grant this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall be when you go, you will not go empty-handed." Good God from Zion. "But every woman shall ask of her neighbor, and the women who lives in her house." What did they take with them? Articles of silver and articles of gold and Louis Vuitton bag and clothing, and you will put them on your sons and your daughters. Thus you will plunder the Egyptians. So they not only do they leave out of captivity, they leave with gold, not a little fake gold. They leave with gold and silver and then the clothing of the Egyptians. So they had already seen they had gotten out of captivity. They had already seen them leave with gold and silver. And now they see Pharaoh's army coming. And they start blaming Moses. "Why did you bring us out? Why did you make us leave?" Now look what happens now. Now I'm not focusing on them talking about Moses. Now look what happens. Now look verse 12. Is this not the word that we spoke to you in Egypt, saying, "Leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians"? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than die in the wilderness. Isn't that interesting? You see people sometimes who've been bound for a long time. And then when they have a chance to get free, they get out there for a minute and want to go back. Go back. So unclear, so uncertain about the future. They'll go back to the past. Then they get real spiritual on it. "Well, I'm going to go with the devil I know. Y'all not know a devil at all." The idea they are finding themselves, so they'd rather go back rather than going forward into the promised land that God already provided for them. Now keep on going here. Now let's read this from Exodus 14:13. This is Moses. Now in the midst of all this, the people are not, their actions and beliefs are confessing. That's going to be in captivity. But look what Moses does here. And I'm telling you, we got to have some Moses up in the house today. Moses says right here, read this now. "Fear not, stand firm, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today." So Moses says, I know that they are behind us, but don't fear. I know they're behind us, but you know God is a saving God. I know they're behind us, and God's going to bring you out of your problem. I know they're behind us, but don't you give up right now. I know God didn't bring you this far to leave it, so don't you give up. But don't allow yourself to fear just because you see the army. Now look what happens here. And then, I love the Holman Standard version. Read this. "And Moses said to the people, don't be afraid, stand firm, and see the Lord's salvation. He will provide for you today. For the Egyptians, the problems, the hurt, the issues, the situations, all the challenges you see today, you never gonna see again." Oh, I'm about to shout. "The Lord will fight for you." Look what it says now. But you got to be. I don't need you to say something contrary to what God has promised. We praying for your healing. Don't say you're sick. We praying for your deliverance. Don't say you're bound. We praying for you to get a man. But you go out here and go on that, you got to make sure you find it and not go speak. If you don't say what God has said, just be quiet. One translation says shut up. So the Lord, stand firm. Don't fear. Stand firm. And whatever you see going on today, God is so wonderful, and God is so big, and God's so awesome. You are never going to see it again in your life. But in the midst of it all, though, the Lord has fought for you. But don't you say anything to undo what he's done. Don't say anything to disrupt what he's already worked out. Don't say anything to get out of position from the seat where he's promised. Don't say anything to say God cannot do it. Don't say anything counter to what God has promised. So look what happens here. Then this, I love this 15 and 16. So now his beliefs right here. So you already have Moses making this amazing declaration. Now Moses is saying this while Pharaoh's army is right behind him. He's not waiting till he got delivered. He's just saying, I see him coming. Don't be afraid. I see him coming. I don't know how, but God has already said. I see him. I see the problem. I see the report. I know what the letter said. I know what the text said. I know what your body said. I know what they said, but I know what God said. So I don't care what it looks like. You just trust God. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. The fear, no fear here. Fear has to go. Then you stand firm on the fact that God has already brought you out. Stand firm on the fact that God's a good God. Stand firm on the fact that God loves you. Stand firm on the fact that God has delivered you. Stand firm, and you will see God move on your behalf. But I need you, Moses, say, I need you just to be quiet. Because don't say anything counter to what you're believing for. So what happens right here? He's going, then the Lord said to Moses, raise up your staff, stretch out your hand over the sea, to divide the water so the Israelites can go through the sea on dry. How you going to walk through the sea on dry ground? Well, I'm saying right now that some folk in here need a miracle. And I know right now it doesn't look like it's going to work out. But I said, God said, you just take what you got. You don't just go get anything. What you got, Moses? You got a rod? I'm going to use that rod. Raise that rod up right now and watch this sea part. I'm like, you don't need anything else. You just need faith in me. I'm going to use what you got, Moses. Just raise up your rod and watch the folk, a million folk walk through on dry ground. Keep on. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. And all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry ground. And the waters were divided. And the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground with a wall of water on their right side and a wall of water on their left side. So Moses had to get them ready by saying, be quiet. Because think about this now. You got a sea in front of you. And you walk, and you know these folk are related to folk in Shalom. They walk in, Lord, look at all that water right there. And said, no, but God. But I know not only did God allow them to walk through on dry ground, that when the last person, the 1 million person got on the other side, when Pharaoh's army came after them, then all the sea came back in and drowned them all. What are we saying right there? There's some alignment between some action and beliefs and confession. What am I saying right now? Don't you allow your circumstances to cause you to be misaligned. Don't you allow what's going on in your life to cause your actions and your beliefs and your confession not to line up with the word. I still believe. I still don't act. I still confess that God is a good God. I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you that life is not always, that sometimes life goes in here and takes some unexpected turns. And we face some obstacles that we would prefer not to face. But in the midst of it all, God said this one, I still need your actions to line up with my word. I need your beliefs to line up with my word. I need your confessions to line up with your word. And if he has to part a Red Sea on your behalf, he loves you enough, he'll part a Red Sea. He loves you enough, he'll make a way out of no way. He said, there has to be alignment between our actions, beliefs, and confession. What would have happened had Moses been like some of us and said, child, you right, they're about to take us out. They'll never, at that point, we'll never sing the miracle because their actions and beliefs and confession would not have aligned. I'm just telling you right, at the heart of everything, at the heart of yielding, the heart of again what God has promised is to say that I gotta check out my actions. I gotta check out my beliefs. I gotta check out my confessions. And if any one of those is misaligned, we choose to focus on what's not aligned and negate the other two that are aligned. What are we saying here? So why are we not seeing greater manifestation? Well, the first one is, first of all, there is a failure of what? Alignment between what?